Well, there you go. Sara-ann Kasner with the National Concierge Association. Who would have known the excitement of this association?
I love the role of concierge.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Do you want me? It will be in my recap.
All
You
right.
ready?
Go for it.
All right. So, well, first of all, it was nice hearing the history of the concierge. I did not know that. I know what they do. I work with them. I speak to them. I've had some great ones in my experience, and I personally think that a great concierge can just accelerate your hotel property or resort, or your even you as a guest, your experience to a whole other level.
Oh,
So having a good concierge, I mean, like when you have a great one, it's like, wow, it's like your own. I don't know. I think personal assistant is kind of a bad term, but like it feels like it because you just call on them
yeah.
throughout your visit. But like, I think it's probably the coolest role in a hotel, and I'll tell you why I think it's cool. Remember in the last video I told you my first job was working in a record shop.
Right.
Okay. Why did I love that job? Because I love music, right? And I personally was able to speak about something I loved and I know a ton about. I know it's annoying how much I know about music, and I would curate my own section. Like I sold so much music that the managers were like, "Oh my god!" Like they would come up with an album, and I would say, "If you like this, you might like this, this, and this." And then they're like, "Oh my god, just order." And they just gave me a section. So my point is, if you're a concierge, you have to be in love with your city and your hotel property. You have to know your city and know it like the back of your hand, and know how to curate the guest experience.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you love your city, I love where I live. I live in Tampa. I'm not a native, but I know a hell of a lot about my city. And I would think it'd be so fun to be a concierge because people come and they visit and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, where do I go? Where do I eat? How do I do this? How do I do that? And you get to just be excited and promote the city you're proud of and the hotel property you're proud of. So that's my long ramble, but I genuinely love the role. And I think it's a really cool opportunity for students to look into. There's a
Right.
lot of benefits that I made notes of on why I think it's a good role. You want to talk about um, not knowing what you want to do and figuring it out. This right here, if you can land a concierge, it's not easy to get these roles, but if you can get a role in concierge, whew,
Yeah.
connections,
Oh,
opportunities,
you
I
wine
can
and
ramp.
dine. You get to go to free theater shows. You get to go to sporting
That
events.
those are the perks. I mean, like what I'm
Big
talking,
perks. Big
yeah,
perks. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you can't sell anything in the hospitality industry unless you experience it first. So
Yeah.
they want you to experience it. And this role, you have to experience it.
But it's the direct guest interaction that you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So you're gonna learn what you will learn at the front desk.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn how to speak. Usually concierge are gonna be a full service upscale properties. So you're really gonna be put through the ringer with some difficult, sometimes challenging expectations. So it's gonna really heighten your ability to navigate that. So I think that's a huge thing that a student would learn.
Yeah. And
um,
Dr. Lori Tuma, she totally 100% agrees with you. And I like that. The coolest job ever. Yeah. And it's the
it
most
is.
underrated.
You're
Um,
the cool person. You're at the front. I mean, you know everything. They come to you.
yeah. Yeah. That people don't understand that this is a really good position, and it's only growing. And it's not only in hotels, resorts, but office buildings, um, at sporting event venues. There's all types of different concierges. And if you are more of an entrepreneur type mindset student, this is perfect because it is kind of like your own business. You get to take it to the level you want to. Um,
Yes.
and a lot of concierges have their own business, and they go after particular niches. Concierge for moms, concierge for dry cleaning. I mean, there's just so you can do here just hasn't been taught
Yeah.
yet.
I think another thing to understand, or a perk of it on the job training of it, is the networking opportunity. So not only are you, you know, curating that experience, but you're also interacting with like the high profile guests, the local businesses, the vendors. You're providing a valuable network to the guests, but you're also like meeting these people, right? So I've heard stories from I mean, I won't share them, but I've heard some fun interesting concierge stories and interviews, and the celebrities that they meet and the people that they have on their phone. It's crazy because like, the guest is there and they want the concierge on speed dial. They want what they want and they want that experience. I feel like the insider knowledge part she touched on, just being an expert on the local attractions, the events, the services, and then being able to go to them is fun. You probably see me glowing right now. I do think this is definitely a role that I would probably try if I was like starting in my career. I definitely would advise and suggest this to people. But they're not that easy to get. So, if you see those opportunities, definitely try it. I would suggest seeking out a concierge role. What do you think, Deborah?
Well, unless you want to take that entrepreneurial mindset role, if you want to develop your own company, there are some students that do have that kind of mindset and want to start earlier than you and I did with our own business. But if you've got that goal to be, I want to do my own business, but I want to be in hospitality, this is perfect because again, you can create your business model, and the National Concierge Association would be so open to helping that come true. But because again, there's just so much out there that you could be a concierge for.
Opportunities too. We
Yeah,
want to talk about. Um, we talked all day about. I don't know what I want to do. What do we do? This role right here puts you pretty much face forward. And I can't tell you how many resumes I see where these directors of operation or managerial roles or guest service directors, front office directors, VIP directors, I mean, they come from concierge. Like a lot of them start there
yeah,
on the operations side, right? I typically see concierge moving up.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
Great stepping
absolutely.
stone.
And
Not even, that's a bad word. I said stepping stone. You can stay in this role
oh yeah,
forever. And
oh yeah,
like I know concierge that made this their career. But if you're someone who is just trying to figure out what you want to do in hospitality, it's also a good opportunity.
but I think with it growing, it's not saturated like hotels and resorts are, even though there's a lot more hotel and resorts. But I think that Sara-ann has started something that was not there and was so needed, and it's still needed today. So you can't work with anyone better in the concierge arena than Sara-ann. And so if somebody is really looking at this and want to give it a try, she would be perfect to contact and talk to. Really
Yeah,
would
it's
be.
definitely something. I can see you doing that, Deborah, being a
Oh
concierge.
yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
You.
I'd like to go to a theater tonight, a restaurant tomorrow night. If you like
Yeah.
to, get out and play and meet people,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the perks are amazing, just amazing, just so much fun. And like she's mentioned, like she and I talked, I've spoken at their conference twice now, and talking about a fun group and to learn from people from around the world at this conference, you really do pick up some really great ideas to implement into the business or take back to the office. So again, it's one of those niches that just has not really been touched yet. So
Yeah, maybe I take that for granted because you gotta remember I recruit in Florida, so like it's a
yeah,
really common role here.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
very like
Arizona too.
South
Yeah,
Florida. Oh my
Arizona
God.
too. Yeah, Arizona,
I
Florida
mean,
have that same kind of thing, but it's needed all over the place, and people don't really realize just to think
yeah.
outside the box. Again, while people zag, this is a zagger.
It's definitely a role. It's definitely a role. I remember her joke about not knowing how to pronounce it. I remember when I know how to spell it. I mean, I know how to spell it and say and all that now, but like back when I first saw it, like, what?
Yeah. But we welcome some questions. We welcome some comments for all, what you might think about the concierge industry. Is this something that you would want to do? Would you like to try it? Is there some kind of question that you might not know about it? Because we obviously gave you a great contact, Sara-ann. You want to take advantage of that. But any comments, anything, questions you want to bring to the table, please do. Because again, this is definitely one of the best kept secrets in the industry. It really is.
It's a cool role. I mean, maybe I'm partial because like I've had such great experiences with great concierge, and I've always thought to myself, man, that'd be really fun. Like I act like that when people come visit Tampa, like because it can be overwhelming when you go to a city and you don't really know what to do, and it's such a sprawling area, and you're like, oh my god, like give me a second. I'm originally from New York, and the same thing. Like, what do I do? Where do I'm like, well, what do you like? Tell me what you like, and then I will guide you.
So wouldn't you say when somebody comes to Florida to visit you, just think of how much you would have made, because they're all like, where should we go? What should we do? And you're taking around all these places. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, think about how much you could make your own business showing people around.
I know, right? There's probably something like that out there, something like I'm late on the game. It's already being done, right? Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you got to cash.
Not at all. But we have a question, and it's from our favorite, Dr. Lori Tuma. What key skills and experiences should a hospitality student focus on to build a successful path toward becoming a top level concierge in a luxury hotel?
I mean,
that's a good question.
Honestly, like this role, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me, Deborah, I'm going to say soft skills are key here. You really need to be a very outgoing, like excited, passionate, knowledgeable person. These are things that you just can't teach. I wouldn't personally hire a concierge unless they just had that glow and that presence, and they're a people person, right?
Yeah. And one of the things that we learned in the conference this past August, which happened to be in my backyard in Phoenix, was how to handle rejection. Because not everybody's going to take your advice or suggestions. And you might think that you're wasting your time giving them the brochures or talking about, the Grand Canyon or the beach or anything like that. They might walk away going, no, that's just not the right fit for me. So you have to learn it's okay to share the information, the knowledge that you have without anything coming back to you. So I like the soft skills, but also know that comes with that is patience and knowing, hey, not everybody's going to take your suggestions or advice, but majority of the time they do. Majority of the time.
Well, we are pushing it. We've got to go to our next guest. Do you want to tell us who it is?
I could talk about concierge all day long.
I know, right?
But here's the most exciting part. Everybody wants to look forward to audio visual technology, AI, and that's who we're going to talk with right now.
Here in beautiful Michigan, it's time to start your hospitality and tourism career, because there's no better time
to spin the wheel,
to settle in,
to create something good,
make a splash,
to share the flavor,
to brew happiness.
So what are you waiting for?